What's good, YouTube? My name is Coach, and in today's video, we're going to be playtesting Zabaz, the Glimmerwasp. This commander here is the commander that we're giving away tomorrow for this week's commander giveaway. All you need to do to receive a copy of this card is comment on any one of the videos that were released this week, and you can enter the Discord and type giveaway in the Discord, and you'll get 3 entries. Okay? So I already shuffled the deck. This is completely randomized. Let me be honest, Zabaz really isn't the most powerful commander of all time, so I really don't know how this is going to go. This commander deck was not really meant to be super strong. It's kind of just fun. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Temper your expectations for this card. We have a Scrap Welder, Arcbound Whelp, Plains, Windscarred Crag, Rip Apart, Sun Titan, and Introduction to Annihilation. So we have 2 lands, and I think we're just gonna play this hand, hoping that we draw into some more lands. So we will draw. Well, there's our land immediately. So technically, I could play the mountain right now to tap this to get Zabaz into play immediately. So let's just start with our aggressive play style early. We'll play the mountain, tap the mountain, we'll get Zabaz into play. Zabaz is gonna enter the battlefield with 1/1/1 counter. We'll pass the turn to our opponent, and then we will untap and draw into a Pyrite Spellbomb. And what we're gonna actually do is, just so that we can draw our extra card, we'll play this Plains. We'll tap 1 to play the Spell Bomb, and then we'll attack our opponent for 1 damage. And then we will pass a turn. On our opponent's end step, we'll tap the mountain to sack the Spell Bomb to draw a card. Buried Ruins. And then we will untap. We're finding our lands, which is cool. And then we will draw into an Arcbound Javelineer. This says Modular 1. We can remove counters from this to deal damage to attacking or blocking creatures. So I think because this is in play, you know, if I look at what we got, I really just want to get this crag onto the battlefield. So we're gonna play this tapped for. We're gonna gain 1 life. I'll pay this, and we'll play an Arcbound Javelineer. And let's say our opponent didn't realize that we can pay red mana to. Oh no, we can only destroy a target artifact we control. The deck is for fun. The deck is not too strong. So yeah, that's just gonna be that. And this is gonna enter the battlefield with 1/1/1 counter. So that'll get that. And I think right now, I mean, like, what we can do right now is just pay. I'll go to combat, I'll attack with Zabaz, and I'll tap 1 to destroy our Arcbound Javelineer. And then that's gonna put 1 counter on Zabaz, but because of his ability, that's gonna put 2 counters. So now they take 3 damage. And then we'll pass a turn, and then we'll go back to our turn. We'll untap. Okay, we'll draw into a Boros Garrison, and we're gonna pay 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll play an Arcbound Whelp, which is just Modular 2. I can pay 1 mana, red mana, to give it +1/+0, and has flying. That enters the battlefield with 2 modular counters. So we'll put 2 counters on it. And then we'll go to combat. We'll attack with Zabaz. And then let's say our opponent blocked with a creature. It's fine, so they didn't take 3. And then we will untap. Our opponent does something to destroy Zabaz. That's gonna trigger Modular. So these 3 counters, actually 4 counters, will go on to the Arcbound Whelp. So Arcbound Whelp is now a 6/6. And then we will untap. and we'll draw into a mountain. Okay, so now we can think for a second. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We're about to have 5 mana. If I play that, I could get down the scrap welder. The thing is that I really need to get an artifact onto the battlefield right now, because if this goes away, then I lose 6 counters potentially. So I'm gonna go 1, 2. Actually, that's not my mana base. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, and I'm gonna play Zabaz. Okay, and then I'm gonna return the plains to my hand to get down the Boros garrison, and then I have a red mana, which we'll just hold on to, and then I'll attack with the Arcbound Whelp. This is gonna get 1 counter as a Baz, and I'll deal 6 flying to our opponent in the air, and then we'll pass the turn, and then let's say our opponent wipes the board, so I lose everything, and then I will just untap. Okay, we'll draw into a prototype portal. We do not have an artifact in our hand, but we can exile an artifact to put a token copy of the exiled artifact onto the battlefield. This is actually a part of our infinite combo, but we'll just keep that there so that it exists. But I think right now I can get down this plains, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. So I could play the Sun Titan. I wish the Arcbound Whelp cost less mana. We'll hold on to the Sun Titan. Let's get down the Scrap Welder. And, or I could sack this. Nah, let's not do that. What do we do? What do we do right now? I could play this. Zabaz, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. Zabaz costs 5 right now. Yeah, let's just do this. We'll pay 3. We'll get down the Scrap Welder so that we can sacrifice an artifact with mana value whatever, and then we can return an artifact with mana value less than whatever we sacrificed. So that's on the battlefield. And then what we'll do is, let's say our opponent has an artifact or enchantment we want to remove. We'll tap this. We'll rip it apart. And then we'll pass a turn, and then we'll untap. Okay, and we'll draw into a Sword of Hours. Okay, so we'll tap 2, and what we'll do is, what if I make a token copy of Sword of Hours? That sounds fun. So what we're gonna do is pay 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll play Prototype Portal, exiling Sword of Hours, and then what I'll do is, hold up, I can pay, oh, this is 2 mana by itself actually, so we'll tap 2, I'll tap the Prototype Portal, I'll make a token copy of Sword of Hours, and then I'll pass a turn. So if at any point in time we want to use this to sack our Sword of Hours, we can, to grab something, but I don't think we want to do that. So we're just gonna allow that to happen. And then we'll untap. We'll draw into a Built to Last, which is gonna give an artifact creature indestructible, which is just a sign from the universe that we should play Zabaz. So Zabaz is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll get Zabaz onto the battlefield. And then we will pass the turn. And then we'll tap 2 to tap this. We'll make a token copy of the Sword of Hours. So now we have 2 Sword of Hours. And then we'll untap everything. Zabaz has 1 counter on it, by the way. And then we will untap and draw. I'm immediately going to play the Study Hall. So I could pay 4 mana to equip 2 Sword of Hours onto Zabaz. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Actually, let's just use this land. So then this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we will equip Zabaz with 2 Sword of Hours. And I think what we can do right now is go to combat. And our opponent has, I think, 4 Zabaz damage right now. So we'll go and we will attack with Zabaz, which is going to trigger the Sword of Hours. So he's going to get 1 counter and then another counter. So that's 3. And then it dealt combat damage because I gave him flying. I'll tap the 1 mana to give Zabaz flying. And now I roll a d12. I'm just going to roll this d20 and ignore anything higher than 12. So roll a d12. If the result is greater than the damage dealt, or the result is 12, double the number of counters on that creature. So Zabaz has 3 counters, so he dealt 3 damage. So anything more than a 3 is going to double his counters. And we get this triggered twice. So that doesn't count. That's 17. That is a 6. So that's going to double his counters. So he's going to go up to 6 counters. And then I have to roll higher than 3 again. That doesn't count to 16. Doesn't count to 17. That is a 13. Doesn't count. 17 again. 15. Can we get something, please? 14. Wow, we're rolling really high. 10. Good. That's more than 3. So then this doubles again. So I'm just going to put another d6 on there. That was kind of lucky. So I'm going to use the bitten dog dice over here. So that's the lucky dice. So now he has 12 counters. And now we'll pass the turn. Our opponent obviously is going to want to cast a removal spell. We'll play a Windscarred Crag to cast Built to Last in response. Built to Last is going to give an artifact creature +2/+2 and indestructible. So Zabaz is indestructible this turn. And then they say that stinks, and then we're like, we know. And then in their end step, I'll tap 2 to tap the prototype portal to make a token copy of another copy of the Sword of Hours. So we'll put that there. And then we will untap. I'm gonna move my hand over here off to the side. And then we will draw into a Mirror Retriever, which could get an artifact we control into our hand if we played it. How much damage we did? We did 3, so that's 6 total commander damage to our opponent. We have a 12 power Zabaz, which can be. All right, how do I end the game right now? So we have 12. Zabaz is a 12/12. What we can do right now is, if he's a 12/12, they're at 6. We need to deal 3 more damage, which is 1, 2. Oh, and then I can tap this here to equip the 3rd Sword of Hours to Zabaz. And then what we can do is just give Zabaz flying. Let's say that our opponent had some sort of flyer, 1 flyer, and then we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll cast Introduction to Annihilation, which says exile target non-land permanent. Its controller draws a card. So we'll exile their flyer. We gave Zabaz flying already. We'll go to combat. We'll attack. We'll put 3 counters on Zabaz. So now he's 15. That's 21 commander damage. Scrap Welder did nothing. That's a good game. So obviously, in the extreme case in the universe where all of this was allowed to happen without our opponent just removing something on our board. That would have been cool. But like I said in the beginning of this video, this deck is really just meant to be fun. It's not really meant to be powerful. Everything that we created over here was extremely fragile, but that's kind of how Zabaz plays. We didn't really get to see any modular. Well, we did a short portion, but you could see how what we could have ended up doing potentially if we had this whole Sword of Hours thing removed. We could have used our scrap welder to just continuously sacrifice and bring back our modular creatures from our graveyard that we had, which were only a couple. But, you know, giving Zabaz an extra plus, you know, +2 power or +3 power, I think could have been something that would have been intense. So that's Zabaz. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, you can like this video. If you watch the video up to this point, know that you can subscribe. You don't have to subscribe. I'm just appreciative that you're here watching this video. Okay? I hope you guys have an amazing day. Always remember, eat healthy, okay? Work out every single day. And most importantly, you gotta believe in yourself, all right? Peace out, people.